Okay then, right. Hello, hi. My name is Kazuya Takashi. So this is a new series. I will be calling this series Surviving Psychosis. And basically what I'll be doing in this series is just speaking about my experience with psychosis. Everything, all the hardships I faced, the things I've had to overcome, and the things that I've learned. I actually hesitated making the series or even making this video. It's actually fundamentally quite an easy video to make because I'm just speaking like literally about my experience, but even speaking about it and then just putting it out there on the internet for everyone to see, and then like also thinking about like, well, is anyone even gonna care? Or if they do care, are they gonna make fun of it? And you know, it's just like there's always like so many reasons I feel like why, you know, like there'll be something I want to do and then I'll always find a reason why I shouldn't do it. And I've been in that thinking pattern for so long. I've been in a pattern of thinking just like, okay, this is what I want to do, but then like there's, you know, 99 reasons why I can't do this thing. And even though there's one reason why I not only can but probably should do this thing, I'm likely to ignore that reason. But I guess that's just, it's a human thing. But if you guys are enjoying this content, please like, subscribe, ring the bell notification, and yeah, right. So surviving psychosis. Where do I start? Let's see. Perhaps from the beginning. So maybe let me start with what psychosis is, because there might be people watching this who don't even know what it is. It's a mental disorder one develops usually in their early adulthood, where they start suffering from delusional beliefs, the kind of delusional beliefs that detach the individual from the reality happening around them. So, for example, the Joker is playing, right? You can see the Joker playing behind me. If I was in the midst of a psychotic break right now, one of my own delusional beliefs that I used to hold for a very long time was that these movies were like speaking to me, and there were like coded messages inside these movies, and especially a movie like this, right? Because this, like, the Joker is about, you know, the Joker is a schizophrenic. He's a lot of things. A lot of the symptoms that I see him exhibit in this movie, or the character, I've exhibited in my own life. As a matter of fact, just yesterday, there were some of these symptoms that I was exhibiting. Not the laughing so much, but the other stuff which I will get to later. That's basically what psychosis is. It's like when you believe something that does not reflect the reality you're living in, and because you believe it so much. And the thing is like what you believe essentially is literally the, like, that's where everything about your experience of reality, and even the experience of yourself and your own mind and your thoughts and all these things, it comes from the things that you believe, right, on like a fundamental level. Right, so if I believe that I live in Gotham, then everything I do in this body, in this reality, will come from that belief. So I might walk around thinking I'm gonna see Batman. You know, this is my mind, it's my reality. So in my reality, Batman is around the corner. No, in everyone else's mind, Batman is a DC character. You know, he's not real. He's not going to show up anyway. Everyone knows that the likelihood of Batman turning up is pretty much zero because he doesn't exist. But for the person who believes that, you know, that world is real for them, and if they believe it on that like fundamental level, then that can, like, that's how far, you know, the individual can take it, and that's how powerful the mind is. Like, the mind is able to convince the person that, you know, whatever it is believing is real, even if it is not real. You know? So yeah, that's pretty much Psychosis. Just kind of like break it down, try to make it easier to understand. When I had my first break, it was 2015. I was 19 years old. It was like towards the end of 2015. I just remember like just this one day I was just minding my own business, just in my own thoughts, and I guess back then I was the kind of person who really cared a lot about what other people thought about him. So I was always trying to figure out, I was people watching, but I wasn't people watching because I was interested in people. I was people watching because I was interested in how to become a better version for people to approve of me. Because I felt like fundamentally I believed I wasn't good enough. So I was obsessed with becoming the best right version that people, would approve of. I was basically like I had become a performer of life, and I was trying to figure out like, what's the best way to walk, to laugh, to talk, to do all these things. Which is weird because all my life I wanted to be an actor, and then it just ended up reversing, right? It's like I did become an actor, but just, got reverse. I became where I was supposed to be living, I was acting. And then where I was supposed to be acting, I was like, no, not really. The other side, it doesn't apply. But that's pretty much what was going on in my mind. When a person becomes that concerned about what other people think about themselves, well, they are likely to lose their minds, because I didn't even have an identity of my own. So most of the things that I ended up doing, like even just like the music I listened to, the clothes I wore, or like the places I went to, the conversations I had, the people I chilled with, the movies I watched, like everything, the motivation and the reasoning behind my existence back then, especially when I had my first psychotic break, was to be approved by people, because I thought that was the only way for me to be good enough. For some reason, that's what I believed. I genuinely did not believe there was anything about me that was enough. Obviously, I'm paying a lot of attention to like what people are doing and even what people are saying. I'm trying to figure out okay, what does this person think? What does that person think about me? And it backfired, because I started creating these narratives in my mind. I personalized everything that other people were doing or saying to me, and I made it all about me, and then I lost my mind. Just like that, I snapped. The thing is with psychosis, it's just like you're having such a weird, it's like a weird abnormal experience, and I could tell that it was abnormal. A lot of people who become psychotic are not able to tell that they are psychotic when it happens. But I was, even the psychiatrists, they were all like, oh man, how you actually have a lot of insight. And I was just like, oh yeah, don't breathe, but it still sucked. It was psychosis. It was not pretty. I walked around with the belief that everyone was just judging me. Why were they judging me? I don't know. I just believed that they were. That was my belief. It was like I didn't need any evidence. I didn't need to hear anyone say it, do it, or I didn't need to see it with my eyes. It was just an assumption I made constantly, on a constant basis. Everyone is judging me constantly the whole time, and I do not know why, and it is not fair. By the time I arrived at AFTA, I had no sense of identity, like I said. So the thing is, university is really a space where one should be able to find themselves with, the least constraints. Well, I say should, because not everyone's experience is the same, but it wasn't like that for me, because I knew what I wanted in this life, but I didn't really know why. I wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be all these things. I wanted to be famous. I wanted to be big, ever since I was 6, that's what I wanted. It's still what I want to this day, back then I didn't even know what I was doing at AFTA, I knew what I wanted, but I didn't know why. And I was also very prideful. I had quite a very big ego. I mean, even now it's, you know, I mean, it's gotten better, I'm not gonna lie, but yo, back then I was like Mr. Bean. Yeah. Oh no, Johnny English. Yeah, I was like Johnny English, pretty much. Just overconfident, but just constantly, just, you know. Yeah. With me wanting to do that whole acting thing and me, and thing is, the whole thing with the acting and like fame and stuff like that, it also has to do with, you know, people like admiring you and like, you know, giving you praise and stuff. So like I had become obsessed with how to just get people to like me, which was a behavior I learned as a child because, well,
I got daddy issues, that's on me.
yeah, so yeah, psychosis is quite, it's a very complex mental disorder to understand, especially for the individual that has it and for them to, like, you know, because it's not really something that gets cured, but it's something you learn how to manage and make peace with, and yeah, you know, it's a journey, basically. I don't know if sharing any of that was going to do any good, but I hope it does, because psychosis is not really like a widely known mental illness. As a matter of fact, pretty much like 2% of people in the world have psychosis. So it's like, it's just something no one knows about or like cares to know about. So it's just kind of like in this movie, right? Like when that psychiatrist tells Joker that the offices are closing down, and then the psychiatrist is just like,
they don't give a shit about people like you, Arthur.
and it's the truth. Like, it's the truth. I remember every time I was in the mental clinic and it was almost time for me to like go back home, and I would just get so sad because I knew that I was going back out to a world that just doesn't give a fuck. They pretend to give a fuck, but truth be told, you're on your own in this world, man. And it's, yeah, it's sad, it is heartbreaking, but it's not the end of the world, because there's space for everyone, you know, in this life to exist, no matter how weird or strange you might be. Yeah, so yeah, that was pretty much part 1, and there will be more parts as we go along. The next video I'll be doing is a people-pleasing video, because people-pleasing is a thing, and it is also something that I've learned a lot, you know, especially being a recovering people-pleaser. There's a lot of things that I've learned and that I see, you know, people that I used to be associated with, I like, it's only after leaving these relationships and cutting myself off from these people, I begin to realize just how much of a people pleaser I was, and not being faithful to my own needs and wants and just my existence and everything about who I am. That's it from me. So hope you guys enjoyed, and see you next time. We did it. We did it. We did it. We did the video.